blacker than these stubs. It's hard to live when a doctor gave me months.
Drifting down, I'm sick of this whole town. Bad whiskey pours my doubt. These roads are long, don't know what's wrong, but I've been thinking. Wait for me, I just wanna be alone. It's been a long damn day, I can feel it in my soul. So tonight I'll take the long way home. Say tonight I'll take the long way home. Wait for me, I just wanna be alone. It's been a long damn day, I can feel it in my soul.
Whoever sees this and subscribes right now will get free electricity. Now that's shocking. What's going on, YouTube? It's Knox Hill, and we're back with our reaction series. So today, man, it is Tuesday. And listen, it is finally time to jump back into the world of BTS and the BU. The next track that we have is none other than Run. Also, real quick, guys, I want to give a huge shout out to the Patreon. As you know, a lot of these reactions I cannot monetize. A great way to support the channel is to check out the Patreon, join the family on there, exclusive reactions and content. We got exclusive BTS August D reactions on there. If you guys want to support it, I'll put the link to that below. But anyways, we know what we're here for. BTS, step back up to the plate. Let's see what you got. Let's go. Oh. Why is there always so much happening? Right. First and foremost, that scene was dope. I love how he's falling backwards. And I thought it was like a hard floor he was falling into because you could see his reflection. I didn't realize it was water that he was falling into. And how did we just end the prologue? We ended it with V diving into the water, except he was diving forward. He was in midair, and remember that shot that just ended it all? That just beautiful shot of the sun behind him silhouetted as he's jumping off of the high dive essentially and taking that plunge into what we've established is into the change, into maturity and adulthood. I take the metaphor for. But in this case, things are twisted. Things are backwards because he's falling backwards into the water. And then you have the mirroring of that water and that splash between RM, who looks like he's dropping ice cubes into a Coke or coffee. I'm going to take it as a coffee because it'll apply better to the quick theory that I just came up with, in that you notice how he stirs the coffee with the lollipop that he has in the very first video that we did, I Need You, right, when he's the gas station attendant, and that lollipop I reflected on and said, I speculated that that represented his childhood, and that change between the lollipop to the cigarette, childhood to maturity to becoming an adult, that loss of innocence. So what happens there? He stirs the coffee, a very adult drink, not a kid's drink, stirs it with the lollipop, and all of a sudden the lollipop vanishes. He doesn't put it back into his mouth. So obviously a change has happened there. So you've got two very symbolic changes and things happening between V falling backwards and RM within the first 41 seconds. My head hurts already, but I'm excited. Also, shout out to the Butterfly song that was playing like way back in the mix there, as they just had that little just symmetry lining up with it all. All right, let's keep it rolling. Ooh. You're my son of this world, my one and only. I bloom for you, but you make me thirsty. I bloom for you, get it like a flower or a plant blooming for you, but you still make me thirsty. I love the natural imagery and just the poetry, the way that that's put for a relationship right there. But who knows if we're talking about a relationship? We're not even that deep into it. But so much happened visually. I don't know how I'm going to be able to process this whole song, people. This is crazy. RM is walking with that styrofoam cup and he throws it. To me, that's significant too, that he throws that on the ground. He's walking past trains. What do trains normally represent? Some type of transition, something happening. But in this case, we transition into a party. And woof, that percussion kicks in. Everything is more upbeat, more pacey, moving at a faster tempo. And yeah, the whole scene has changed. It's vibrant, it's colorful now. Whereas before it was darker shades, it was duller. Now all of a sudden, a total change is happening. Oh yeah, and RM's totally changed too, so this is a different time period. There's Jin with the camera. Oh man, so many connections happening right now that we had in the prologue. Jin with the camera filming them, kind of being a part of the situation, but also being an outsider to it all as well. Oh, boom, boom, boom. Love that flow from Sugar that he just came in with right there. And look, Jin is getting crossed out. That seems significant to me. Wasted youth, enter the... What are we entering? look at RM's face through it all. Jimin too. That's funny, man. There's also more symmetry here. Yeah, V falling backwards. See how V fell backwards into the water, and there's him completing that fall backwards. I take this again. Remember, we've had these allegories and these connections to a different sort of time. The time of innocence, the time of good times, the time of fun. So they're having that fun and that innocence. But Jin is always withdrawn from that. He's the observer, isn't he? He's different than what all the other boys are going through. So for me, him getting crossed out, it's like they're kind of in denial of him at that point, and in denial of the changes as we continue to play upon the metaphors of the transition from childhood to adulthood, and the changes that affect them all, and the decisions that they make to move forward from it, taking the plunge. Oh, that little delivery right there, like when just pushing the pace of the singing and then just drop down into sort of that quick whisper cadence for a syllable and then back out of it. I love that. I love that flow again from Sugar. Gotta shout that out in the imagery, running, but you know, you feel like you're running in endless circles. What are you achieving? What are you getting to at the end? What are you running from, or what are you running to? Definitely more being spoken about than just the relationship here. And then the pairing of the boys. You've got RM and V. They've been paired up a lot now, right? And V is kind of going through a rebellious phase right now. You know, again, it all connects to this fun, this innocence, this rebellion. Obviously, this has to be pre-V killing what we've established as his father. V killing his father. So there's this rebellion before that. And then very significant that Jin is building up this house of cards, essentially. Because we all know that that's going to get toppled over, isn't it? That was significant. Jin broke the fourth wall there and looked at us, essentially. Recognized that we were there watching him. I wonder what that means. What is that shirt that V's got? Nirvana? Is he finally reaching Nirvana and reaching that change that he needs to reach? Oh, and I missed that too. I missed the cards being knocked over. Listen to those harmonies though in the back of the mix. Just beautiful higher range stacking on top of the lower, more whispered main vocals. I love that. And let my feet rip apart with wounds from all the running, from the wounds of running from this relationship, but running also from childhood, from innocence, I take it as. And that is V in denial, knocking over the cards, isn't it? Nice. Wow, so much happened there. Run, run, run. Whoa! Like there's this crowd chanting in the back of the mix, but I love that. Run, run, run. So simple, but so catchy. And again, here's the double meaning that you have. Running in the sense of running through this relationship blindly in love, in a sense, or running away from it. But also this running, to me, this loss of innocence. Running to this point, running away from something, from your demons, from your inner conflict, from not wanting to mature. There's definitely that duality between it all. And then right here was also important. So obviously you got V getting arrested, you know, him getting into trouble for his rebellious phase, kind of denial here. But again, here's the different changes. That's J-Hope waking up. And I take that as a connection to I Need You, when J-Hope overdosed himself on pills. Because right there, that's what I caught. You see how he's got like the IVs right there? It looks like he's in a hospital bed essentially. And again, here's the pairing of them. And Jimin's checking on him and making sure that he's okay. But right here, here's the change. Because when he OD'd and then he collapsed on that bridge, it was so dark and despairing. And that greatly contrasts with him smiling right now and taking the pillow and get ready to whack him. And then you have this transition into the lightness, the feathers. Again, a pillow fight. Connecting back towards childhood. Like, I feel like events are happening. It's weird. We're jumping between the past, but we're also jumping into the future after things have happened with I Need You. And then we use that future to jump backwards into the past. It's almost like there is no time within this. You know what I'm saying? It gets so caught up on timelines, but essentially, there is no time, is there? It's a nice, snappy, percussive drum right there. Black butterfly? What does that represent? Chaos? Butterfly effect, maybe? Wow, that was really cool harmonies into the raps. But what I was trying to get was Suga and Jungkook were like right there. They're laughing. They're almost hugging. Like there's them together and they're another pairing. And then there's them pushing each other apart and them actually fighting. And it reminds me again, there's so many parallels to I Need You now. And when Jungkook got beat up in I Need You. But it wasn't Suga that beat him up. It was these hooded men that beat him up. But in this case, this time it's Sugar beating him up. But you see other scenes like I Need You and Butterfly when they're around the campfire and they're together and they're comforting each other. But now they're at conflict. Why are they at conflict? Everything just drops out and you just hear the glass being shattered before the song keeps progressing, and it's just like a breathing moment. And I think Jin has realized something in his mind, in his world. But what's interesting is that Suga and Jungkook are fighting. Jungkook has a nice little cross that he catches Suga with, but instead of Suga hitting him back, he then takes the chair to the mirror. Why take it to the mirror and not to Jungkook? Unless this is all existing in minds and these are all imaginary battles, and maybe they represent their own passions, fears, emotions. So it represents like the metaphor and the conflict, but it's not actually happening in the physical world. It's all happening internalized, I take it as. And Sugar no longer wants to deal with himself anymore, so he shatters the mirror because he can't look in the mirror and gaze upon himself. House of Cards falls, everything falls into place at that moment. Huh. Oh, so see again this whole crossing of like times, right? And there almost is no time because there's Jungkook, but he's been hit. right? He's been struck by sugar. You could see he's been in the fight. So that's not the party him that we saw earlier. Same scene of them partying, but he's different than the rest of them. This is a different him now in the same scene and scenario. Isn't that wild? That's cool. Zoom in on him like he's there with the boys, but then zoom back out and realize that he's not actually there, and you still see the shattered glass and everything. Soccer kick. You know we like that around here. Memories crumble like dried flower petals. The flower petals that started I Need You and started this all, that Jin had, wasn't it? And the 6 petals that represented the different boys, right? I love how they're even taking lyrics now and connecting it to what happened visually. There's a lot of looks happening, realizations among them, but I think what it's representing is some of them are at different points than others. Like, others are kind of lost in the moment, enjoying time, and some of them like hit these realization points and their mood and character changes, and it's like they're getting ready to cross that boundary that they know they can't come back from. That's what I take that just interesting sequence as, when you jump between the different looks and the different head turns. I'm chasing butterflies, so lost in dreams, and then we had the butterfly imagery. Again, the lyrics connecting so well with the visual. Who is that? Way back in the mix with that high falsetto. That is beautiful. Harmonizing on top of this. Woo. Wow. Oh, there's the X again. Again, blocking traffic, almost like trying to stop the transition, stop these changes from happening. And you see them heckling the different cars, and it's like they're kind of laughing at the face of the change, and then they decide to run from it in the end. And you know, it still has that correlation between this young, carefree, rebellious innocence and the dark maturity that comes with being adults, and they're kind of running from it. But there's Jin driving the car, and he's the one that's, ironically, they get in the back of the car, so the cars that they're trying to block and stay away from, they then join the flow of traffic. And whether they realize it or not, as they're heckling the cars and the change behind them, they're on their way towards that change themselves, I take it as. Whew. What did that door say? Inhale, exhale, breathe. Yeah, inhale, exhale, breathe. Run, 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 it's okay to fail. Run, 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 it's okay to get hurt. Notice how the lyrics changed to take a different tone. Everything was, it sounded great, but it also had these darker, more emotional themes. And now all of a sudden there's this like positive light to it all. What a change. What a change. The parallels again. Exhale, breathe, it's okay. And why do the lyrics change and why does it turn more positive? Because look, same situation. I need you. Jimin drowns himself in the tub. I mean, it's awful. He can't take it anymore. In a sense, he takes the plunge, but he's committing suicide, essentially. But in that case, same scene, but different situation when all the boys are together and they're joking and it's playful and they're kind of pushing him down. They don't realize the seriousness of when he's on his own, them pushing him down and going through that. Wow, what a parallel again. And then we're back to this, back to V underneath the water. And he's struggling there in the water, whereas before kind of he was floating and like almost coming to a resolution within himself. And that time he's fighting against the change, fighting against the current. Hang on, that's going to be... Wait, that wasn't Jin on the last one, was it? That was V there. Now V's in the tub getting pushed down, and you have that symmetry with him there, and then him obviously drowning in the water. Wow. Wow, that's cool. Jin looks left and V looks right. Like they're looking at each other and they've like acknowledged each other almost. And there's V. He's finally stopped struggling. Again, I think he's come to that resolution. Wow. Look at that lighting. That's so cool, that scene. Right, I got this. Jungkook right there turns. Similar scene to I Need You when he turns and the car hits him, right? Fatal, shocking sort of ending. But in this case, when he turns, he starts to smile. Again, just like Jimin in the tub, we're mirroring these different scenes of I Need You and these changes that happen so abruptly and so darkly. But this time, there's an acceptance of them. This time, there's a different tone to them. There's a different way in which they're happening. And then there, V finally comes up for air. He finally comes up from the depths and the darkness. Oh, wow.
소리를 내 꿈인지 현실인지 알 수 없네 나의 해변에 카프카여 저기 숲으로 가지 말라고 내 맘은 아직 너 위에 부서져 조각조각 까맣게
Ooh, I saw those football skills.
해변에 카프카여 저기 숲으로 가지 말라고 내 맘은 아직 너 위에 부서져 조각조각 까맣게 녹아 흘러 It's all free for you 곁에 머물러 줄래 내게 약속해 줄래
Oh, you know what? I missed the birds. Like the birds flying away and representing again the transition from childhood to adulthood. Those birds were important too, weren't they? I love this behind the scenes look. Ooh. Wait. Isn't that's from our prologue, isn't it? The beach, the horizon, representing the unknown, representing what could be or could not be. Why does Jimin burn that picture? Burns it as if he wants to forget, or burning it as if it never happened and it was all just a dream? Because again, the way that things jump around between timelines, I'm starting to think that this is all imaginary. This is all not real. This is all happening in the mind. This is not actually happening in real life. So everything is symbolic that happens physically. The violence, the changes, the dark twists and turns. It's all symbolic and metaphorical for changes happening in the mind, changes happening to whether that's us emotionally, us from a maturity perspective, and the different thoughts and things that they go through. And what's really cool is, you know, you have these different songs relating to a relationship and breakups, but there's more to it. It could also be one about a friendship that is lost. It could also be one about them writing to their past selves, losing themselves, running from different representations of self. Wow. I mean, the deeper we go, the more questions I have, the more complexities there are, but man, I really enjoy this. It's not something you get everything from a first listen, a first watch, even a second, third, fourth, fifth. This is something you just got to keep diving into, and I'm sure you discover more Easter eggs as you go. But hey, we're here for the journey. BTS, you are Knox Hill certified. So if you guys like today's video, if you did, be sure to smash that like button. Comment down below the next step for the BTS journey. If there's other artists and songs you want to see me check out, I try to read all of your comments, guys. I respond as much as I can, so please keep commenting and keep posting. As always, stay safe, stay positive. If you're here at the end of this video, do me a favor, support the channel directly. Subscribe, notifications on. It's Knox Hill. I'll catch you again. I'm out.